What's up guys, Derek, moreplaysmartdates.com. Today we are going to be talking about Logan Paul again. The reason being is a ton of you guys sent me this picture of him from his Instagram story. So this is him the other day with a face mask on and his hair tied back. And man, the balls on this dude, like he just does not give a whatsoever. And he'll show whatever he wants and doesn't care how flattering or unflattering it is. He's like, presumably there's only one of two reasons you would be posting this. It's either to show the face mask that you have on, or it is to show that you have a receding hairline still and you just don't care. So this sort of goes against what, a lot of people have been talking about since the past year and a half, where his hair just, miraculously started gaining density back, hairline improved significantly. And it almost looks, at least in the way he took this photo, that things are not better. And in fact, they're just as bad, which to me, I actually don't think is the case. I don't think things are just as bad. I think things would be much worse than this had he not done anything by now, because this is like not representative of anything worse than we saw, 4 or 5 years ago. So I did a video on this before, where I speculated how he took hair loss medications, and then I did a follow-up video after he talked about I think it was like turkey and hair transplants in a recent podcast. Shortly thereafter, he actually showed his hairline on the podcast, which is interesting. And I didn't want to dig through all the episodes to find it again. A bunch of you guys sent it to me before, and it was very shortly after I posted the hair transplant video. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to make another video again. This is sort of just reinforcing what I said in my transplant video. So I'm just going to, leave it be. I'll let it roll. And, some other people made videos following up talking about it, because he did indeed show his hairline. Notably, I'm going to bring up a clip from Hairliciously. This is another hair loss related channel. And the reason being is because he has close-ups from that episode, and I didn't want to, dig through the whole thing to find it myself. So shout out to Hairliciously for having this in his video. So basically he has Logan zoomed in with the guy literally pulled his hair back to show his hairline while wearing headphones. Which is like, the balls, dude, the balls. Like, he just does not give a fuck. And it looks, a lot better than it did. And it looked like, even if you were the same compared to like at 21 years old when he was like really fucked, you would be skeptical, you know what I mean? Or like 22 or whatever it was, because he was like well on his way. And now it's only improved, like he goes, in the podcast, he is literally showing his head with no fear. Like here he is showing the sides, and you can see the hairline is not as bad as it was or it would be now without some sort of intervention, in my opinion. And he grows it out a lot to really like hide what's going on, obviously. And it looks good, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. No one's hating on his fucking hair. It's excellent for, especially given his genetics, So, and he knows that, he knows his hair loss genetics are fucking aggressive. So presumably, he works with what he has and doesn't really give a fuck otherwise. And people who want to speculate about stuff, he just fucking lets it roll. And the picture though that he posts is pretty telling, in that it sort of just makes it seem like, okay, the lighting, it sort of makes you question, like, was everything in his podcast, like, did he actually do anything, or is it exactly the same? And to me, I just think this thing is like aggressively pulled back as much as possible and is showing the worst circumstance possible and shining like broad daylight right on his scalp to try and make it, it's almost like he's trying to make it look as bad as possible. Like, I guess the lighting is a lot more favorable maybe in his podcast studio or whatever, but the hairline still looks better than it would otherwise, in my opinion, given the fact of where he was a few years ago and where he is now. So yes, I literally had hundreds of people DM this to me. So this is why we're covering it. And obviously I am a hair loss, pharmacology, endocrinology related channel. So we got to cover it no matter how uninformative this actually is. Like, for me, I think the end story is basically he is just not an insecure guy and doesn't give a fuck if posting a picture of his face mask with his hair pulled back makes him look worse. He just doesn't care. And he obviously does care about his appearance, because he's talked about getting like, I think he talked about getting Botox before. He's done like a lot of cosmetic, not like aggressive surgeries or anything, but he's done, he takes care of himself. He's in shape, he works out, he grows his hair out to hide his hairline, probably does certain shit in terms of medication wise and or transplant wise. And I stand by that, even though this is a very unflattering angle and makes it look like he might have been doing nothing at all. I highly doubt he has made it to this point with like no significant difference between where he was back in, I don't know what it was, but I know that when I did my video, how Logan Paul reversed his hair loss, you can clearly see that his hairline literally years ago was worse or the same than it is now at best. Like this was, this is Jake Paul, by the way. Where's the Logan one? This one, like this is years old at this point, guys. And this is like full blown, like exactly the same potentially as we're seeing here. Not much different. And then, you know, throughout the podcast, his hair had this wispiness, and I talk about that. He's got cornrows before to show his hairline. Like the guy literally does not give a fuck. But then through the podcast, you know, things just randomly for no reason seem to get a lot better. Like his hair is all wispy and shit, and then he dyed it, you know, blondish throughout the podcast. Where's that clip where he does it? And then by the end of it, it goes from this brownish color to like a more blonde color, and then he sort of gets an in-between dirty blonde look here where the density just significantly improves to the point where it's like, damn dude, like what have you been up to? Because you can't just like gain the density if you don't have like some good hair, you know what I mean? Like yeah, maybe your hairline's going, but he's still like got good fucking hairs in the anagen phase, like covering him, you know? Covering his ass. And by now he would be to the point where he's like considering shaving it, bro, you know? The Just Shave It bros. Because at this point, however many years later, if you were so aggressive at the point you were when you were like 20, 21, unless you're on medication or had a transplant, like you wouldn't have staved it off where you're exactly the same or above baseline. So my opinion is he just gives such a little fuck, and maybe he has even seen the videos about his hair loss that he's just, I don't know, maybe he just wants to like shit on those videos and be like, yeah, actually I do have hair loss still. Or I just do not care what people think so much that I want to post this for everyone to see with the most unfavorable circumstances possible. I'm not really sure what the point is, but at the end of the day, I still stand by the statement. I think he has still had a transplant and or uses medications. So hopefully he still holds up for a while, because him and Jake obviously have very aggressive loss. And I think his hair looks great, man. If he can hold on to this, like this, again, this was, like where's the before? Like this was at the start of the podcast. You know, he had the brown wispiness. Then he went to the blonde wispiness with a bit more density. And then he went to full board, like dirty blonde density. And then he's just been chilling like that since. And if he can maintain this for a while, dude, like fucking awesome. Like hats off to you, you know, that is a success in my opinion, given where he was at. So anyways, I think, you know, that's my thoughts, dude. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think he's done absolutely nothing this whole time? Do you think it's, he's just, you know, gotten lucky and it hasn't gotten bad enough to actually notice, and he just grew his hair out more, and it's somehow like the entire thing just got more dense, and he's just like knows how to comb it better and blow dry it better and better products. It's just longer and he layers it differently. Or is he on meds and he got a transplant? Because, you know, some of those shots in the Hairliciously video, like they certainly show improvements in the hairline to the point where it would be very hard to discount the likelihood that he had some sort of surgical intervention, in my opinion, despite the fact that this picture is extremely unflattering, although probably done on purpose by him to show the most unflattering circumstance possible. So why he would do that, you know, could be a few reasons, but let me know what you guys think. Comments down below are much appreciated. They help the algorithm. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic, it's all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. We have pharma-grade hair loss medications, notably, as well as my pre-designed lab test panels, including the comprehensive pre-finasteride panel I designed myself, Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode, pre-workout formulas I designed myself from scratch, and anything else I am associated with, it's all in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.